I remember a time when darkness seemed to swallow everything familiar. I was a young journalist, fresh out of college, thrust into the heart of suffering. I was reporting on a devastating earthquake in Central America. The images, the stories, the sheer magnitude of loss. It was overwhelming. Yet amidst the rubble and despair, I witnessed something extraordinary. The unwavering faith of the people. In makeshift shelters and beside collapsed homes, they clung to their belief in God. They sang hymns amidst the ruins, their voices trembling but resolute. Their faith wasn't a magic wand, erasing the pain or restoring what was lost. It was a lifeline, a source of strength and comfort in the face of unimaginable suffering. In the midst of suffering, faith offered a glimmer of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest night, dawn eventually breaks. We live in a broken world, a world where pain and suffering are unavoidable realities. Natural disasters strike without warning. Illness can ravage bodies and steal loved ones. Wars and violence shatter peace, leaving scars both visible and invisible. It's in these moments of profound darkness, when our world seems to crumble around us, that we grapple with the age-old question, where is God in the midst of suffering? The Bible doesn't shy away from this question. It presents us with raw, honest accounts of men and women wrestling with doubt, fear, and despair. Faith is not about having all the answers or living a life free from pain. It's about holding on to hope, even when our hearts are breaking, trusting in a God who weeps alongside us. These stories remind us that we are not alone in our suffering, that even in the darkest of times, God is present, offering comfort, strength, and ultimately, hope. The book of Job stands as a testament to the complexities of faith and suffering. Job, a righteous and prosperous man, loses everything, his wealth, his children, even his health. He is left with nothing but pain, grief, and a relentless barrage of questions. Job's friends, though well-intentioned, offer little comfort. They cling to the belief that suffering is a direct consequence of sin, that Job must have done something to deserve his fate. But Job refuses to accept their simplistic explanations. He rails against God, questioning his justice, demanding answers. Job's story is not a tidy parable with easy answers. In the whirlwind, God speaks to Job not with answers, but with questions. Job's response is one of surrender and awe, acknowledging God's sovereignty, even when his ways are beyond our understanding. The book of Psalms is a tapestry of human emotions, a raw and honest outpouring of the heart to God. Within its pages, we find songs of praise and thanksgiving, laments of grief and despair, cries for help, and expressions of unwavering trust. The psalmists don't shy away from the realities of suffering. They pour out their pain, their doubts, their fears, holding nothing back. Psalm 22, for example, begins with a cry of anguish. My God, why have you forsaken me?" The psalmist feels abandoned, alone, overwhelmed by despair. Yet even in the midst of such profound darkness, there is a glimmer of hope. The psalmist remembers God's faithfulness in the past. This remembrance becomes an anchor, a source of strength in the present storm. The Psalms teach us that it's okay to grieve, to question, to cry out to God in our pain. King David, the shepherd boy who became Israel's greatest king, is no stranger to adversity. From fleeing for his life from King Saul to facing betrayal within his own family, David's life was a tapestry of triumphs and tragedies. Yet through it all, David's faith in God remained steadfast. When facing Goliath, a giant who had instilled fear in the hearts of Israel's mightiest warriors, David, a young shepherd, stepped forward with unwavering courage. He knew that his strength came not from his own abilities, but from the God who had been his shepherd, his protector, his guide. David's life was not without its share of failures and heartache. He made mistakes, some with devastating consequences, yet he never allowed his failures to define him. The story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is a testament to the unwavering faith that defies even the fiercest fires. These three young Hebrew men, captives in Babylon, refused to bow down to King Nebuchadnezzar's golden statue. Their refusal, an act of defiance against idolatry, enraged the king, who ordered them to be thrown into a fiery furnace. Facing certain death, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego remained steadfast in their faith. Miraculously, the flames did not consume them. Their story is a powerful reminder that faith is not about avoiding trials, but about facing them with courage and conviction. Esther, a young Jewish woman living in exile in Persia, found herself in a position of unexpected influence. She was chosen to be the king's wife, unaware of her Jewish heritage. When a wicked advisor, Haman, plotted to exterminate the Jews, Esther's cousin Mordecai urged her to intervene. Esther faced a daunting dilemma. Approaching the king without being summoned was a risky proposition, potentially punishable by death, yet her people faced annihilation. Her courage and faith were put to the ultimate test. Esther, drawing strength from her faith, bravely approached the king, risking her own life to save her people. Esther's story is a powerful reminder that God can use even the most ordinary individuals to accomplish extraordinary things. In the Garden of Gethsemane, hours before his crucifixion, Jesus faced the full weight of humanity's sin and suffering. Fully God and fully man, he experienced the depths of human anguish, the crushing weight of betrayal, abandonment, and the anticipation of unimaginable pain. Kneeling in the garden, Jesus cried out to his Father, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me." Yet, even in his agony, Jesus submitted to the Father's will, saying, "Yet not as I will, but as you will." Jesus' prayer in Gethsemane offers a powerful glimpse into the heart of God. Faith is not a shield that protects us from the storms of life. It is the anchor that holds us steady amidst the raging seas. It is the compass that guides us through the darkest nights, even when we cannot see the path ahead. Faith is not about having all the answers. It is about trusting in God, even when we don't understand his ways, believing that he is working all things together for our good. The stories of those who have gone before us remind us that we are not alone in our struggles. Our faith is not a magic wand that erases pain or guarantees a life free from suffering. It is a lifeline, a source of strength and comfort that sustains us through life's most difficult storms. Life will inevitably bring its share of storms. There will be times when the waves crash around us, threatening to pull us under. It's in these moments of darkness and despair that we must cling to the anchor of hope, the hope that is found in our faith in God. This hope is not a naive optimism, a wishful thinking that everything will magically work out. It is a confident assurance rooted in the character of God that he is with us, that he cares for us, that he is working all things together for our good. The stories of faith that echo throughout history remind us that even in the darkest night, dawn will eventually break. Our faith does not exempt us from trials, but it empowers us to face them with courage, knowing that we are not alone. For in him we find an anchor for our souls, a hope that will never disappoint.